Hello guys, this is Josh from Platinum Partner, and today I'm gonna bring you a new video to talk about Formstack. Formstack is a online form software, like the name suggests. Is it specializes in online forms. Uh, like I mentioned in a previous video, during these working from home times, forms are extremely relevant uh, because they allow your customers to make orders, or you can create customer satisfaction surveys for your customers to fill in, suggest any changes that your business might need, or you can even survey your own employees just to monitor their well-being, check how is their health, their stress levels during these working from home times. So um, yeah, what better way to do it than with software that specializes in this. So Formstack, let's jump into it. Make sure you just try a free version. It's going to give you 14 days once you create a new trial account on Formstack. Okay. um, so this is the form view, the view that you're going to check into when once you log into your account, and from here you can create your new forms. I'm just going to make one from scratch for you guys to follow up. Just going to make an example of a form. um, you have the option of creating surveys and workflows, and just choose the one that is more suited for your needs. In this case, like I mentioned, I will go for a form. Name of the form, I'm just going to make it an order form just to make it simple. You can create folders as well, so if you need to categorize your forms, maybe you have forms for marketing, forms for HR, forms for sales. Just make sure to create the folders that you need, and you will be able to save that forms into the relevant folder. In this case, I'm just gonna go, uh, don't need to categorize because it's an example. So let's start. In this case, I will start with a template. We have some templates available in Formstack, and they are categorized by education, HR, IT. Just select the ones that is more relevant for you guys. In this case, I'm going to go for a self-calculating order form. Um, it's made for orders online, so I will use this one. Next step, you have the option to select a theme. These themes are the ones that are already um, um, selected by Formstack or created by Formstack. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for this one just to make it a little bit more fancy and easy to see. And here we go. This is the area of where we're gonna be working in our form and customizing it. Um, Formstack works with what we call fields. So each one of these is a field, and just remember that this is a template, but you can actually customize it as well. You can delete some of the fields that you don't need. You can drag them around if you need to, or you can copy, duplicate it. You have the option of reordering it here. So for example, I want the name and address to be shown on top. I can do that. And the phone, email. There you go. So I want first the information from my customer, and then I want the details of their order. Okay, so what are we going to do now is take a look into each one of these fields. These fields have three sections. All of them have three sections. One is the logic. Um, you can add rules. So, for example, I don't want this field to be seen uh, unless I have an answer before, or an answer select as yes. I can add it to here. I will show it later once I create a new specific one, just to show you logic. Okay, so Um, the general one is the name of the field. You can select here if it's required. It will show this red dot on top or next to the field. So um, just make sure you select when it's required, when it's read only, when it's hidden, or when you want to hide the label. You have the option of doing that as well. So just bear in mind, all of these fields have these three sections: logic, general, and field specific. Okay, so let's go into our actual um, field. I don't have to change anything here because okay, name, email, home phone, address is self-explanatory. Now let's go with the order itself. So in this case, we are selling T-shirts, as it seems. This is a drop-down list, a drop-down field. So you just add, you can just add as many fields as you want. So make sure you select the relevant ones. So T-shirt. These drop-down lists have a label, so a name, and the value. This is going to help me later for calculations because if I just have a label here, I have to give it a value. The small T-shirt it costs $15, for example. Just an example, you can change it. Like I mentioned, you can change it to whatever you guys need, or you can remove it if you need to. Okay, so if I don't need the XL one, I just click in here and remove it. Or if I need the extra large one, just you can just add a new one. XL 25, and I give it the value $25. There we go. So yeah, you can customize it to whatever you guys need. Like I mentioned, this is a drop down, right? It's a, now since this is going to tell me a total cost automatically, um, I want to be able to select the quantity here. This template have the quantity as a drop-down list, so that might be limited for some of you guys because okay, some people might want to order 40 or 50 shirts, so no problem. We go to this option here, that's the field, and we can change the field from here to number one. So I want to convert this drop down into a number one. I can do it from here. So, or of course, you can just delete it and drag a new number field if needed, right? But in case you don't want to go through that process, you just change the style of the field from here. Okay, so very important, guys. I want to have a minimum value here of 0 because you don't you can't order negative shirts, right? You can't order -20 shirts. And if you need to, you can create a top, right? So if your production is low and you have a limit of 50 shirts per order, you can just do it in here as well. So it's just depending on what you guys need. In this case, I'm not going to put any maximum value, so I'm just gonna leave it open for explanation purposes. Currency, well, if you need to add a currency, you can add a currency or whatever. Okay, so I want to make all these fields mandatory as well, because of course that's the order. And now let's go and take a look into the total cost. This one is again another number column, another number field. So uh, the field specific settings um, have been arranged to show me a total cost of the order. So t-shirt, depending on the drop down, right, of course, and the quantity. This way the total cost is going to be shown automatically. They don't have to manually input anything. And now Of course, you don't want your customers changing the total cost in your form, so you can make it read only as well. Okay, so that's the basic idea. It's just a formula to give me the total cost. Price times quantity. Easy. T-shirt times quantity. Okay, so let's say, for example, that you not only sell shirts, but you also sell jumpers, for example. You just duplicate the the field, and then you can just rename it from here, jumpers. And now you're going to need another quantity field as well. Of course, this is going to be quantity of shirts, quantity of t-shirts, excuse me, and this one is going to be quantity of jumpers. And now you can just drag it, quantity of jumpers here and quantity of shirts in here. So there you go. And now, of course, you will have to change the total cost formula, right? Because you need the value for everything, right? So you can actually, well, we'll just make it from scratch, parentheses, of course, and then t-shirt times quantity of t-shirts plus jumpers times quantity of jumpers. Close my parentheses, and that's it. The currency, I want this to be in US dollars, of course, so there you go. And if you need decimal places, you can add it here, but since these are whole numbers, I don't really need it. And there you go. Now, let's say that your customers need some extra specifications, or you can add or an extra service, right? You can add a drop-down list, and you can rename it extra anything extra requirements. There you go. And you can just add this, select yes if you need anything extra. Option 1 can be yes, option 2 can be no, and I don't really need an option 3. And now what we are going to do is, like I mentioned before, add a little bit of logic to show you guys how it works. Long answer is going to be please fill in your extra requirements. And I want this to be shown only if the extra requirements answer is yes. There you go. So if we change the logic on the fields, you will see this purple icon. Okay, so I going to see how the form works out. We have the option to see it live from here, so we'll just go there, and this is what we will obtain. So name, email, phone, address, etc. The drop down is here, t-shirts. So I want, for example, I want 2 medium t-shirts, and I want of two jumpers. Now, any extra requirements, if I select no, this is going to be um, hidden, but if I select yes, I'm gonna be shown this extra requirement to fill in. Now the total cost is not updating because it's not live yet, but once it's everything live, it will automatically show me the result of the total cost of the formula, of course. Okay, so this is the basic idea. Just submission button at the bottom, and well, the name of the form and the instructions of the form as well. That can also be customizable. So um, now you seen how it will work live. Now you can, of course, like I mentioned, reorder the content if you need to, or you can go to the form extras in here. So this is to prevent some spam. Some people might go to your business and try to make fake submissions or whatever. Yes, you can uh, activate here the reCAPTCHA, or you can add a security logo. You can have the option to save the form or the survey form submitting and then resume it, and you can show a progress indicator. Like I mentioned, it, if you have a long form or something that's customized to be like 2 or 50 questions, you can just create a progress indicator, or just save and resume later, right? If you need to. That's in form extras. Okay, so now settings, form settings, just basic stuff, guys, to not to make it too long. Each of these forms is going to have a name, of course, and then a URL. This is going to be helpful when you want to share it. Now the language of the form, of course, you want to select if it's English, or if you speak any other language, you can just select the language. Um, Now basic stuff in here, like uh, if you if you want a time zone for submissions, if you want save into the database, upload field names, etc. Just basic stuff. Make sure to go through all this in detail if you need to. Now email and actions. Um, Notifications for yourself when you receive any new submissions to your form, of course. Confirmation, if you need any confirmation email that the form was submitted, you can add it in here as well. Welcome app submission message, you can add a new welcome message for your end users, a submission message as well, like I mentioned. Well, yes, make sure to select or customize it according to your own companies. Okay, integrations. This is very useful, guys. If you guys have some um, forms that require anything integrated, like a credit card validation system, or maybe you want your data to be sent across to Google Sheets, or you want your Google Drive um, uh, to be automatically updated with the files that are submitted. You can do it from here. We have lots of integrations available in here, so just make sure to select the ones that are relevant for your workflow. Like I mentioned, you have accounting, we have calendars, CRMs, documents, just whatever you guys need. Make sure to play around with it. Okay. For sharing the form, of course, you, like I mentioned, you have a URL, so everyone with this URL will be able to submit the form, or you can embed it into your website as well. Just make sure to just select the one that is appropriate for what you guys need. Submissions, you can see here all the items that have been submitted. So um, they will appear in this page, and from here you will see the partial submissions as well. You will have a chart. Well, it's just an example, so I don't have any submissions in here, and then the analytics as well. So just uh, who saw your form, how many of them completed it, and how many of them converted into a submission. Okay, so yeah, one last thing, of course, the styles, like I mentioned. uh, I at the start I selected this style, but you can actually create a theme with your company or your business's colors if you need to. So just make sure you can actually create a style that is uh, customized specifically for your business, right? If you want to change the font, you can also change the font, the spacing, etc. The 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 style is highly customizable. Make sure to check it out if you need to. So I guess that's the basic idea behind Formstack, guys. Like I mentioned, highly customizable, many options of using forms like surveys, HR, educational, etc. So make sure to check it out. If you have any questions regarding it, feel free to make a comment, like the video, guys, if this was helpful for you. And like I mentioned, feel free to share your feedback with me. And if you want anything else in specific to be shown in the next video, make sure to also mention it. Okay, thank you guys. Josh from Platinum Partner. Until the next video. Have a good day. Bye bye.